Hello friends, welcome back to the class. So in this video, we are going to discuss about few topics in ESR spectroscopy. So friends, this video is about interpretation of Landay splitting factor. Interpretation of Landay splitting factor. Landay splitting factor. So friends, here the Landay splitting factor is denoted by the G. So here, before starting the ESR spectroscopy or in principle of ESR spectroscopy, we written some equation. The some equation is the energy difference between two spin states equal to h nu. This is equal to G into beta into h, where h is Planck constant, nu is the frequency of radiation, G is the Landay splitting factor, beta is Bohr magneton, where h is equal to the strength of applied magnetic field. The same equation we can also write where G is equal to h nu by beta into h. So simply we send these two terms to here. So now here where G is called a spectroscopic constant or Landay splitting factor. So what we are calling here, G is a spectroscopic or Landay splitting factor. Landay splitting factor. Okay, so here the G value, to determine or to calculate G value, there is an equation. Equation is 1 plus J into J plus 1 plus S into S plus 1 minus L into L plus 1 over by 2J into J plus 1. So by using this mathematical expression, we can calculate the G value for any molecule. So for example friends, let us consider a free electron. So to calculate the G value, so let's consider here we are taking an example. The example is a free electron. So that means a single electron we are taking. When you take a single electron, so number of electrons is equal to n is equal to 1, where s is equal to 1 by 2, because the s value of electron is 1 by 2. So n is equal to 1, that is called total spin is also 1 by 2, where for single electron L is equal to 0. Now, so we are going to substitute these values into the above mentioned equation. So now here you see, the G value is equal to 1 plus, what is the J value here? J is equal to L plus S, that is equal to J is equal to L plus S. Okay, so L is equal to 0, S is equal to 1 by 2, so the J value also here 1 by 2. So now 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1. Now spin of electron is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1. So J value 1 by 2 is substituted here, S value 1 by 2 is substituted here, and L value is 0, therefore 0 into 0 plus 1 over by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1. Here also we substituted the J value. So when you substitute the values of J, S and L value, finally we are going to get. So 1 by 2 into, here 1 by 2 plus 1, this is equal to 3 by 2, plus again here 1 by 2 into 3 by 2. So minus 0 into something completely 0. Why? Yes, here 2 gets cancelled. Therefore 1 by 2 plus 1 is equal to 3 by 2. So friends, so now further the calculation of the J value, yes. So this is equal to 1 plus, so 1 by 2 into 3 by 2 is equal to 3 by 4 plus 1 by 2 into 3 by 2 is equal to 3 by 4 minus 0. So there is no change when you subtract the minus here by 3 by 2. So friends, here you observe that 3 by 4 plus 3 by 4. 3 by 4 plus 3 by 4, this is equal to, yes, 6 by 4. This can be written as 3 is a 2 is a 2 3 is a 2 2 is a, finally the value is 3 by 2. So now here we are going to get 3 by 2 by 3 by 2. So this 3 by 2, this 3 by 2 gets cancelled. Finally we are getting 1 plus 1, this is equal to 2. So that means what? For a single electron or for a free electron, the G value is equal to 2. This value is called theoretical value. So this is a theoretical value. Theoretical value. Sir, what is theoretical value? Why you are saying here theoretical value? Because for experiment, when you see experimental value of G, so here you see experimental value of G, so that is different. So experimentally, yeah, so experimentally the G value is, so experimentally G value is equal to 2.0023. So this is the experimental value. The above one is we calculated, that is theoretical value, but when you observe practically the G value is equal to 2.0023. Sir, here what is 0.0023? So what is the difference? Whatever the difference between theoretical value and experimental value, the difference is 0.0023. Okay, this is called relativistic constant. This is called relativistic constant. So the 0.0223 is called relativistic constant. So friends, here this is the G value. Okay, here G value, whatever you calculated, so for a single electron, so for single electron you calculated G value, this is exactly equal to free radicals. The G value exactly equal to free radical. So the above calculated G value is equal to all free radical, methyl radical, ethyl radical, benzyl radical, whatever it may be. But when you come to the complexes, metal complexes, when you come to metal complexes, yes, there is a deviation for the G value. So here the single electron G value exactly match with G value of free radicals. But when you come to the metal complexes, the above mentioned G value not matching. What is the reason? So whatever the single electron is present on the free radical molecule, that can be moved in all directions as similar to normal single electron. So whatever the single electron you take in there, that can move in all directions freely. When you take the free radical, for example methyl radical, again this radical having an electron, this is called odd electron. This odd electron can also move in all directions freely. That's why the G value for free radical exactly equal to the G value of free electron. But when you come to the metal complexes, the G value is different from the free electron G value, because so in the metal complexes, whatever the odd electron present, this odd electron going to be existed in a particular orbital. So that's why it cannot move in all directions freely. So that's why you are going to observe the difference in the G value. Moreover, here G value is going to be depends on, yes, G value is going to depends on, in case of metal complexes, this G value going to depends on crystal field splitting parameter. So crystal field splitting parameter. Yes, and also this is going to depends on LS coupling. It is also depending on LS coupling. So friends, this is about interpretation of G value. So now friends, so again we are going to discuss the important topic. The important topic is anisotropy of G value. Yes, the topic is anisotropy of G, and also we are going to discuss hyperfine splitting constant. So this is the topic. So now we are going to start. So here you observe that when you take any molecule or a matter in gaseous state or liquid state, and again you can see that the same molecule can also be present in solid state. So here, so we are differentiating the matter into two different states, gaseous or liquid state. Again, the next one is a solid state, to explain the G value anisotropic nature. Here, when you take the sample in gaseous or liquid state, so whatever the free electron is there, this free electron is moved in all directions freely. So here in gaseous and liquid state, so friends, once again here we are discussing about anisotropic nature of G value. When you take gaseous or liquid state of the sample, so now in gaseous or liquid state, so what is happening? Here the electron can be moved in all directions freely, and here that's why whatever the G value is there, the G value is going to be taken as the average. G value taken as the average G value of all the molecules. Come to solid state. Here solid state is nothing but it is a rigid state. So rigid state. So that's why here it cannot. So in the case of solid state, what is happening? Right, the sample is not moving in all directions freely. That's why here G is not average. G is not taking as an average. So friends, when you take gaseous or liquid state, so in all directions the molecules freely move, therefore electron can also move freely. That's why the G value is going to be taken as an average of all the molecules. When you come to the solid state is a rigid. That's why in this particular state The molecules cannot move in all directions freely. That's why G is not taking as the average value. Okay. And also you see here, so come to this case only, solid state. So when you take the cubic system, yes. When you take cubic system, so cubic system, perfect cubic system. So what is the cubic system? So that's, you know that. So in the cubic system, yes, this is called cube. So now here length, width, height all are equal in the case of cubic system. And here another system is so axial symmetrical molecule. Axial symmetrical molecules are distorted octahedral. Distorted octahedral or rhombic system. Rhombic system. So now, okay. So in the case of perfect cubic system, now here whatever the G value is there, the G value in x direction equal to G value in y direction is equal to G value in z direction. So that means in all directions the G value is equal. So that's why here G is said to be isotropic. G is said to be isotropic in the case of perfect cubic system. When you come to axial symmetrical molecule or distorted octahedral molecule or rhombic system, in this case G is not equal in all directions. G is not equal in all the directions. So for example, so you see right here when you take axially symmetrical molecule, axially symmetrical or distorted octahedral molecule, in this case here Gx is equal to Gy but not equal to Gz. In case of axial symmetrical or distorted octahedral, Gx is equal to Gy but not equal to Gz. In the case of rhombic system, yes, in the case of rhombic system, here Gx not equal to Gy not equal to Gz. The G value is different in all the directions. Right? Okay. So that's why here to calculate the G value in anisotropic molecule. So here you can observe that the G value is not equal in all directions. This is called anisotropy nature of G. So this is anisotropic nature. Because in the cubic system the G value is equal in all directions, but in axially symmetrical or distorted octahedral or rhombic system, G value is not equal in all directions. That is called anisotropic nature. So in anisotropic nature, G value can be calculated. So in anisotropic molecules, so now G value can be calculated like this. G is equal to G parallel plus 2 into G perpendicular. 2 into G perpendicular, yes, into 1 by 3. Sir, what is G parallel? What is G perpendicular? Here you see that. So actually the Z axis is going to be existed like this. So now here we are going to observe the two axes. So this is the Z axis where this is X and where this is a Y. So now in case of parallel molecules, in case of all the molecules, you see this z-axis is exactly parallel. Z-axis is exactly parallel to applied magnetic field. So here, the z-axis exactly parallel to applied magnetic field. That's why here GZ is going to be written as G parallel, where x and y axis are exactly perpendicular to applied magnetic field. That's why Gx and Gy are going to be written as G perpendicular. G perpendicular. So friends, so how to calculate the G value for anisotropic molecule? G is equal to G parallel plus 2G perpendicular into 1 by 3. Okay. If G value is, here you see, if G value, G is isotropic. G is isotropic. So when G is equal to isotropic, or G may be anisotropic. Isotropic, anisotropic. Sir, why you are writing isotropic and anisotropic nature here? So you see that when the G value is isotropic, you are going to get a signal. The signal is sharp signals like this. But when the G value is anisotropic, now we are going to get distorted signals. Distorted signals. The signals are distorted. Yes. So friends, here, so this is the G parallel peak, where these two are G perpendicular peak. So friends, here the G is isotropic, the signals are sharp. Yes. When G is anisotropic, so the signals are distorted. Signals are distorted. So friends, this is about anisotropic nature. So along with this, so we are going to calculate hyperfine splitting constant value also. So one equation is there to calculate hyperfine splitting constant value. Hyperfine splitting constant. Hyperfine splitting constant. This can be denoted by A. Denoted by A. So this can be denoted by A. A is equal to, or A average is equal to, A average is equal to A parallel plus A perpendicular. Yes. So 2A perpendicular into 1 by 3. So this is the value of average hyperfine splitting constant. So now by using this equation you can calculate, so average hyperfine splitting constant value. So friends, this is today's class. Thank you.